Hi, we are going to learn how to graph a second data set in LoggerPro. So you open up LoggerPro and it looks like this. And let's say we want to, we're comparing two basketball teams and we wanted to compare how many baskets they made in a period of time. So let's say on the x-axis we double click and we put in time. Let's say it's in minutes. And for the y, we'll say baskets with no units. And let's say the game was 10 minutes long and the person monitoring this team took data every 2 minutes for 10 minutes. And I'm just making up some data here. Okay. Like normal, as we add data into these columns, our graph gets filled out a little bit and it looks like this, which is great. But we want another line because we actually want to compare this team to another team. So in order to do that, I need to go to Data, New Data Set. And with this area selected, I can make this a little bit bigger so I can fit them both together. And you'll notice that the units for our X and Y axes moved over, which is great. But let's say the person monitoring the other team didn't take the data every 2 minutes for 10 minutes. Let's say they did only every 5 minutes for the 10 minutes. Could they have taken it every 2 and you fill it in? Of course. But it doesn't have to be the exact same points on the x-axis, which is nice. And for this team, let's say that was their number of baskets. And I can make that smaller. So, but you'll notice that we did not get different points for our second data set. I don't have this data on my graph. So in order to get on my graph, I'm going to right click. So if you're on a Mac, that means we want to use 2 fingers. We right click on my Y and I go to graph options. Notice that for that Y, the baskets from the first data set is selected with the open red circles, and that is the symbol that we have. And I can pull down data set 2 and I can select the filled in red squares or darker red squares for data set 2 for the Y. And if I click OK, oh look, I now have data points for the second data set. So now both of my data points are graphed, or sets of data are graphed, and then I can use a linear fit. And notice that when that comes up, I can select both data sets or only one of those data sets to get linear fit data on. I can drag my boxes so that they make sense with my graph. I can scale more appropriately. I'm not liking those data points all the way out there on the edge of the graph. Something like that. So obviously you would need a title to add as well. The other thing that I would add is if I wanted to print this and I wanted to say, or if I wanted to include this, I might not want it to just say just data set and data set 2, because someone looking at that might not know, even if I told them, oh, this is comparing the green team to the blue team, okay, they're like, well, which one is which? So an easy way to do that is to rename the data sets. Oh, wrong way. I'm selected in the graph, so I want to select the table, pull that out. So I can double click where it says data set, just like I renamed the axes, and I can say, oh, this was the green team, and this was the blue team. And you can notice that now it'll say this is the fit for the green team, and this is the fit for the blue team, and that will help identify which one is which. You can make a graph, right? Title. something like that. And then you are done.